most of you here have spent decades of your lives working towards a more balanced and a more sustainable world. And therefore, you are a challenging audience for a challenging subject. As Hoa Maria Figueres, our esteemed chairman for the Carbon War Room, said, we must change now. There is no planet B, and there's work to do. So my journey started only 6 years ago after Al Gore turned up at my house in London and effectively practiced his inconvenient truth presentation on me. Anyway, I was an attentive guinea pig, and it made me realize that we had to do something to change the way we did business, or we would ruin our world for our grandchildren and their children. On the face of it, Al presented a pretty bleak choice. Cut all carbon emissions and keep the world's temperature within a safe range, and we had a chance of averting a global catastrophe, or do nothing and watch as the world warms up, water levels rise, and the beautiful islands like this disappear. But being an entrepreneur, my very first thought was to look for entrepreneurial ways to tackle the problem. Maybe I could make a grand gesture that in itself could be helpful, but more importantly, could get others to follow. So I pledged that any dividends the Virgin Group took from our airlines or train businesses over the next 10 years would be invested in renewable fuels. And that, in particular, we tried to find an alternative to jet fuel. Well, my first visit was to check out ethanol, but I soon learned that it's not a great idea to fly a plane powered by ethanol as it freezes at 15,000 feet. So we've invested in scientists who have been developing fuels for planes that do not freeze, fuels from algae, fuels from isobutanol, and even fuel in Australia from Mallee eucalyptus trees. Virgin Australia is working with a company who will use polycysis to turn the woody biomass from the Mallee tree into a biocrude oil and biochar. And the oil is then refined into aviation fuel, and farmers can plough the biochar back into the farmland to improve soil quality and carbon sequestration. And next week in the UK, our airline Virgin Atlantic will be unveiling an even more exciting breakthrough. And it really is, I think, pretty exciting. So these particular investments are all looking really positive, and I'm confident that we'll get the necessary breakthroughs here that we embarked on after Al Gore's visit. But with China and India growing at over 10% a year, and Brazil and even Africa rapidly catching up, every major industrial sector needs to get out at least a gigaton of carbon out of its industry sector. If the threat to our planet is indeed worse than World War I and World War II put together, where was the Churchillian war room to coordinate the attack against the enemy, carbon? So our foundation, Virgin Unite, set up the Carbon War Room to create a new global approach in building a market-based solution for carbon reduction. We brought together a like-minded group of international entrepreneurs to blend the power of business with capital and technology to help break down market barriers and attract funds into successful solutions. It's set up as an independent non-profit, and we secured the brilliant Jose Maria Figueres as its chairman and Jigar Shah, the equally brilliant solar entrepreneur, as CEO. To balance our Earth temperature, we need to get 25 gigatons of carbon out of the Earth's atmosphere every year. The Carbon War Room has identified 25 sectors that it believes could do this, and are setting about showing them how, with available technology, it can be done. These include shipping, aviation, IT, energy efficiency in buildings, and so on. So I'll give you a couple of examples of how the team are approaching it. If you take shipping as an example, ships flew on flags of convenience, and before the Carbon War Room got involved, had little or no concern for carbon output. There are around 100,000 ships emitting 1 billion tons of CO2 a year. The Carbon War Room estimates they're spending $70 billion a year, completely needlessly, every year, year after year. The Carbon War Room's approach is to help create wealth, to create jobs and prosperity across the board for shipping, for entrepreneurs, for ship owners, charterers and ports. Prosperity, but with much, much fewer emissions. We aren't asking ship owners to put their livelihoods at risk. Were we to do so, they wouldn't listen, and the problem of global warming would only get worse. So the first step the Carbon War Room did was to create a website, www.shippingefficiency.org, to list all 100,000 ships that sail in the seas. And actually that can be quite useful when you're policing marine reserves. On it, they've listed the A to G refrigerator index for every ship, allowing buyers to pick the best ships, for ports to favour the cleanest vessels, and ship owners to display their relative efficiency versus their competition. The market has needed that information to work better, increasing the demand for cleaner, retrofitted ships, and making it easier to finance the technology to improve their vessels. Shippers and ports are beginning to take action on these indicators, with large retail chains demanding A or B grade ships to transport their products. Another example, cities. During the Winter Olympics in Vancouver, the Carbon War Room convened a meeting of 30 mayors from some of the largest cities around the world. I actually chaired that with the Mayor of Vancouver to find out what was stopping them from turning their cities green. Over 50% of all carbon worldwide comes from inefficient buildings. The answer they gave us was simple: lack of finance. So our team at the Carbon War Room set out to develop a scheme for cities that would be a massive win-win for everybody, and in particular, the environment. They looked at creating an innovative financing system that, simply put, gave lenders almost watertight security by having the loans for double glazing, solar panels, etc., repaid out of slightly increased property taxes. They tested this idea out in Miami and Sacramento and quickly had $650 million committed from private enterprise to retrofit buildings, which will not only slash energy consumption, but create literally thousands of jobs. I mean, in Miami alone, it's 30,000 jobs. As a result, local governments will follow this lead worldwide. As a result, local governments who follow this lead worldwide can now tap private capital to finance renewable energy and efficiency improvements for residential and commercial properties. The owners of these buildings will dramatically reduce their energy bills. Now that this first scheme has been put to bed, there is no reason why every city in the world shouldn't replicate it, creating literally millions of jobs and reducing as much as 5 gigatons of carbon a year, just out of this one relatively simple idea. The Carbon War Room is ready to help roll it out, creating jobs, reducing carbon, and modernising our cities. A win-win situation all round. We do need to keep broadening the debate as arguments continue to rage around the weather patterns and reality of climate change. We're missing the bigger picture that there is no scientific debate about, that every single one of our natural ecosystems is in decline. Part of this shift must be a new perspective on how we value our natural assets and how we change our consumption patterns. If we don't move on this, Mother Nature will force us to. Finding the right balance between consumption and conservation is a delicate one for our connected and fast-developing world. In addition to the preservation of the planet's resources, the conservation and protection of endangered species are vital components in ensuring we leave the world fit for generations to come. For much of my life, I've been involved in conservation projects to protect animals such as lambs and rhinos, tigers, and more recently, and slightly controversially, the lemurs. This year, through Virgin Unite, I've stepped up my activity in this area and joined the Ocean Elders, an independent group of global leaders, including Jean-Michel Cousteau, Dr. Sylvia Earle, Ted Turner, James Cameron, and Neil Young. And we came together to promote ocean conservation, to protect the ocean's habitat and wildlife, and preserve its ecosystems and species biodiversity. Last month, I was in China with our partners at WildAid and former NBA star Yao Ming to launch a global campaign against the culling of sharks. When the demand stops, the killing will too. Today, the shark's population is being decimated as they're hunted for their fins, and with up to 200,000 a day used for shark fin soup alone, 73 million sharks killed every year. And what a disgusting waste for a bowl of soup. At this rate, 400 million years of evolution could be wiped out in just one human generation. We so-called intelligent human beings just cannot let that happen. Anyway, it's very worrying to see that one of the world's greatest species now endangered by our senseless killings. And we have to realize that preserving the diversity of the planet and oceans is crucial to maintaining a healthy world and not upsetting nature's fine balance. And obviously incredibly pleased to find out that the Maldives was one of the first nations in the world and the first nation in this region to ban shark finning. It was a brave decision, as many fishermen in Maldives can ill afford to lose any income. However, President Nasheed's government made the right decision and a great statement by saying sharks are more valuable alive than dead. The ban announced in March last year has helped preserve the diversity of this beautiful area and has shown the world that the benefits derived from keeping them safe far outweigh those of a short-term, unsustainable gain made by a few from finning. Finally, at Virgin, we've always backed the power of the entrepreneur and inventor to find solutions to tricky problems. With this in mind, why should climate change and the battle against carbon be any different? 4 years ago, over dinner with my wife Joan, we were chatting about my obsession with reducing carbon emissions. Joan, with her Scottish pragmatism, simply said, there are so many clever people out there. There must be one person on Earth who can figure out how you can remove carbon from the Earth's atmosphere. Well, the next morning we came up with the idea of the Earth Challenge, a $25 million prize to encourage inventors, scientists or entrepreneurs to come up with ideas for removing carbon. I'd read the book Longitude about the successful prize launched by the British government in 1714 to reward anyone who could come up with a way to measure a ship's longitude, and was inspired by this as we pulled together the prize and launched it with an esteemed group of judges, including James Lovelock, Tim Flannery, Al Gore, James Hansen, and Sir Crispin Tickell. Well, to date we've had more than 2,500 entries, but have not yet found the silver bullet. I suppose if we had, we wouldn't be standing here today. Or one grand prize winner that has proven a commercial viable technology. Instead, we've managed to whittle down the entries to a select handful that we're going to support with events, grants to help them develop their technologies. So we still have a lot of work to do on many fronts, not much time to change the course we are on. We must look at the issues around protecting our natural resources, one of the biggest entrepreneurial opportunities of our lifetimes. We have the technology to realize this opportunity. We now need the right government policies to put the capital in place to build a new economy that puts people and the planet ahead of just business as usual and creates a more equitable way of life in harmony with the planet. It's people like those of you in this room that have the power to make this happen and make a lasting change. And I do believe we can make it happen. Myself and my team at Virgin still have a long way to go, but we're committed to this path and look forward to working with you to move towards this new world at speed. Whilst we do, it's important for us all to stay positive. As I said before, Martin Luther King did not get his message across by saying, "I have a nightmare." Thank you very much.